Lissy, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having us on. Sounds good.
You're very welcome. Fresh from a gig last night, so how's that one feeling?
Yeah, it was a really good gig. We supported Rosella's Band on the Wall in Manchester, and yeah, it was great. It completely sold out, and so like the energy was mint, and yeah, really got like good interaction with the crowd on like a few of the new tunes, so that was exciting. And yeah, but like feeling slightly worse for wear this morning, but you know, I think that's a good sign. You know, it means that you had a good night.
It certainly does. And obviously we're here now, but what I want to do first is this is what I do with all of my music guests. I like to always go back to the beginning and kind of ask, where did it begin for you when you first found your love for music?
Yeah, I think for me, like I loved music from a very young age, but I was really shy. So for me, music has been, I think, the biggest thing that's kind of brought me out my shell and kind of given me confidence, and I've kind of used that to like grow as a person. Like it's very like integral to who I am, I suppose. So. I started just kind of like singing along in the car um from basically as soon as I could, and then eventually like my mum kind of started saying, you know, you should push yourself to, you know, let other people hear you, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh no, you know, I was so shy. And eventually, I think I was about 12, 13 when I decided, yeah, I'm going to push myself a bit more. And that's when I first started playing and singing in front of people. And that's when I kind of got the bug for it, I suppose. Like I did like an open mic that my mum signed me up for because I was like, I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have that push
Yeah.
to do it. Um, and like my first open mic, like it all went completely wrong, but I still really enjoyed it, and I thought actually, yeah, that was fun, and I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna get better, and it really like helped my confidence, and it kind of gave me something to latch onto because before I would literally just play guitar like in my bedroom, and
Yeah.
that would pretty much be it. I'd be like, oh, no one's gonna hear me. um, but yeah, so it's really given me like my kind of where my confidence comes from, and that's what I say to so many people, and they're like, oh, I could never do that. It's like I used to think that, but you just kind of
Yeah.
you do like one step at a time, and then you realize, oh, actually it's not a big deal, and it's quite fun.
Yeah, it's certainly like you say. I think it was better that you were probably pushed as well because then you don't really have the time to think about it and then dwell on it. So it's probably best that you were pushed.
Yeah, like it was just like, oh, we went to the pub and then realized that my guitar was in the boot of the car, and they were like, yeah, we've signed you up, you're gonna play, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, and then from there it just kind of naturally snowballed. So like I started playing kind of open mics regular, and then we moved to America, and we kind of like seeked out what open mics are at the bars and things there because there's so many. So started playing in a few bars in the States, just doing the open mics, and then it was just kind of through like word of mouth and things, like people started showing up to these open mics because they knew I was playing. And then from that started getting like different bookings and things like in kind of rolling in of like, you know, people approach us and say, oh, can you play at this event, or I'm having a party or whatever, can you come play? And I thought, oh, this is quite good because like other people are getting jobs, and I don't have to. I can just play my
Yeah.
guitar and for
which is
So
something
like,
I love.
yeah, I'm like, I could have played the guitar for an hour and jobs are good. And so I thought, so yeah, I was like, what, like 15 or something? I thought this is decent. We'll just do this. Um, yeah, it just kind of naturally snowballed. And then when, after living through America a bit, I moved back and moved to Manchester, where I started putting my own band together, and then we started doing like kind of like proper gigs, like with the full band, and started doing a few festivals and things like that. And then we just kind of naturally got onto like the kind of like the indie rock scene, and yeah, mixing with all the other bands and getting with like the national promoters and then kind of bigger promoters as well. So yeah, it's just like naturally snowballed, like just kept going at it and not giving up.
Who were your influences from an early age? Like when you first, like obviously, first discovered your love for music. Who were that? Some of the artists you looked up to, and kind of like, who would you say were your favorite artists, really, and who were you influenced by the most?
I think when I was growing up, I really like loved and kind of idolized Amy Winehouse when I was really young. I remember like I full on like sobbing when I found out she passed away. I must have been like 6 or something. I really idolized her. And I think I loved her because she was so different and kind of authentic in herself. Like she wasn't, like a typical kind of pop star where they all have a similar sound and look. And I
Yeah.
think I really loved that she was just like, this is me, and what are you going to do about it? I loved that. And I think that's kind of a consistent theme for artists that I do like. I love Florence and I still do love Florence and the Machine for kind of the same reason. She's so kind of her own sound, her own person, her own look. It's not, she's not just kind of dancing around doing some choreography, it's about the music. And I think that's, for me, like that's what the best music is, where it's literally just you can just listen to, and then they haven't got to have all like 15 backing dancers doing
Yeah.
whatever. Like you can just sit and listen and be like, yeah, that's class. So I really kind of gravitated to like women in music. But I also grew up with my family very much into like the big indie bands, like Oasis and all that. Like my uncle, I grew up with him traveling around all the time, just going to see different bands and coming back and kind of showing me like posters of Oasis or whoever he's seen. He'd literally seen like hundreds of bands, and I just used to look at the posters and think, that's so cool. I wish I could do that one day. But I just thought like me going seeing the bands like what he does, but didn't think I'd ever like be in a band or have my own band. So yeah, I do really love like the classic indie bands, like indie rock, like the Killers, Arctic Monkeys, Oasis, like Blur, like all of that. I love that. But like more recently, I'd say my sound now, I listen to like a lot of Wolf Alice, Sam Fender,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of stuff. And but yeah, I listen to quite a lot. But like for me, like it's indie rock is my favorite.
Yes, it sounds like you're kind of heavily influenced by guitar music.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And I want to go back now because, of course, were these the type of acts you were playing songs by when you were doing these open mic nights?
Yeah, yeah. I'd play all kinds of stuff. I'd play Arctic Monkeys. I'd play a lot of Amy Winehouse. And then I started like putting a couple of my own songs in
Yeah.
there and writing my own as well. Yeah, and I think it helps playing what you like, what you listen to. I think it helps with your own writing as well because you think, yeah, right, I can see how this has been written and kind of you can pick out what you like from different songs and then try and do that in your own way and create your own kind of little puzzle of what you take inspiration from and what you've kind of grown up with.
When when you were doing all of these gigs, like these open mic nights, and then coming back to the UK and doing some here, did the nerves still carry with you with being shy from when you were younger, or did that kind of just go away?
It kind of just melted away because it's like it's kind of like stepping stones. Like once you've done one, each time you do it afterwards, it kind of gets easier. And
Yeah,
like and it feels like a natural kind of progression then because if you do like a gig that is like a bigger crowd, sometimes you start to not notice because like if you've played to 50 people, next time you might play to, I don't know, 70 people. It's not going to feel much different. And then next thing, you're like, oh, this is 650 people at this gig in like the O2 or something. And it doesn't actually feel any different to when you were kind of playing the smaller rooms because you're just doing the same thing. So I think it's kind of funny because you'd think, oh gosh, it must be like so nervous playing to all those people. But I think, to be honest, like I was so much more nervous when I was starting out playing to like
mm,
10
yeah,
people because it's all kind of relative to how much experience you have and
yeah,
like the belief that you have in yourself. I think, it's like anything. It's like driving a car, when when you start learning drive you're a bit nervous. You think,
yeah,
oh, it's a bit daunting. You think, oh, am I going to make a mistake? Is everything going to be
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And then once you've been driving for a while, you're like, oh, this is all right. Like, I know what I'm doing now. And most of the time, you feel pretty chilled about it. So it's just one of those things that's like a natural progression, I think. And um, getting some bigger gigs almost now like it feels more exciting than
Yeah.
nervous. It's more, yeah, that you'd look forward to it and think, yeah, I know this is going to be good because it's going to be, it's going to be good energy and like the venue's really cool. So there's things to look forward to, really.
It's not many pre-gig nerves these days now. More excitement.
Yeah, like more excitement, kind of anticipation. Like I don't particularly get nervous. Um, I think like a little bit of nerves is good,
Yeah.
but kind of not nervous how I used to get. Like when I was younger, like I used to feel sick. But yeah, I don't have that anymore.
That's certainly a positive. And it's good that your shyness has kind of melted away because obviously there's probably some people out there that have been shy and have remained shy and just try and hide away from the fact they are nervous, which is a bit of a shame really, but it's good in your case that you've kind of got over that barrier almost. Well, you've got over it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And like I encourage everyone to just try and push themselves as well because like that's my experience, that's what I've done. So I always try and encourage people to kind of, step up to what they're afraid of doing in some ways. Because I think, if you're a bit scared, usually it's a good thing to go towards because, if you do it, you're going to be dead proud of yourself and you're going to kind of grow as a person. No one's going to be improving themselves if they're not doing something that is out of their comfort zone. You're just going to stay kind of stagnant in the same like headspace and it's great kind of surprising yourself and surprising other people as well and what you can do and it's also great because it's not the typical thing, like it's completely different to just working in an office or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that bit's fun as well.
Because I guess if you can kind of like do what you love as work, you don't really class it as work, do you?
Well, yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
I think, you know what, like life's so short, isn't it? You've got
Yeah.
to do something that, you're excited about, or, most of the time looking forward to at least, because life's too short to be worrying about stuff or like dreading what you're going to be doing. So you've just got to try and go towards what you enjoy, even if it's going to be a bit kind of tricky getting there. But um, one thing I always think about have a powerful and inspiring why. Like always ask myself, why am I doing this? And if I've got a why like that excites me, I think I'm doing this because I feel like this is what I was meant to do, and this is
And
like what makes me happy.
then it's a good.
Um,
Yeah.
then then that's what you've got to go towards, like with like your gut feeling. But like it's easier said than done. But it's always good to have something positive that you're working towards and growing. And like that's what I tell my students because like my sensible job, if you will, my normal job is I'm a music lecturer at a college. So like I do a lot of like kind of like coaching with the kids to like help their confidence and stuff as well whilst
That's
the
good.
performing and things. Yeah.
I guess you can kind of use your experiences then to help them, which is a great thing.
Yeah, I enjoy it, it's rewarding and um it's like still what I want to do. It's I just love music and that. So I just kind of do it in any way, shape or form. But yeah, it's good because I can kind of take my experiences and then try and help some other people with it and try and bring others like out the shell and um get them doing stuff that's positive, not just sat down looking at a computer screen playing video games or whatever it is. Like let's get them out and get them in bands and get them gigs and put them on some local festival lineups and bits like that. Just do something different and get them like out experiencing life and that because everyone's been like cooked up with
Yeah.
having lockdown and all the rest of it. It's good to get out and be, actually going to gigs and experiencing it all. I think there's like a new appreciation for it.
I'm just laughing because my I have a brother through there, and he's one that just sits on his video games all the time, and I
Yeah.
sometimes I go to a lot of gigs and I say there's people younger than you there. You need to get yourself to a gig, but no, he won't have it. So
Oh, why don't you go like charity shop or like a little cheap music shop, get him a cheap guitar and then see if you can, I don't know, Max spark something in him.
well, actually, when he was younger, he actually had like kind of the like them kiddie keyboards there is.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
them ones like you're pressing them in, so he had one of them, and he did have a guitar actually, but he never did anything with it.
We need to get him out. We need to get him to a gig.
Yeah, I'm
Where is it? Where are you based?
Teesside, which you're coming to very soon actually, so we'll come to that later on. But yeah, we need to get him somewhere.
Yeah, we need to get him. We need to get him out and about, experiencing the indie scene. We'll have to get him like a bucket hat and everything.
Yeah, I could probably lend him an old one I have or something. Moving on, of course. How you said about you moved away, then you came back, got a band together, and then you thought about four gigs. And how did you then think about releasing your own music and like really getting down and getting some songs out? Because of course it's a hard thing to do to kind of break into an industry these days. But how did the journey kind of develop off the back of that?
It was really like through uni that I kind of started looking at a release plan and kind of release strategy, like how to get songs out and from actually to do somewhat well, not just like sit there and not be heard by anyone. Um, so I did a songwriting degree at BIM in Manchester, and then with that they do like a lot of like music business, music industry kind of modules, and let you do a lot of your own research and kind of working with other people there. And then from that, I just kind of started, sorry, my phone's beeping. I just started like looking at different release plans and putting together my own kind of research and of how I can actually do this independently, authentically, without a label. Because like you get some offers and stuff in, but it's just a bit. Sometimes you're like, I can do that by myself.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm in control of it, and I know what the direction is, and I'm not, we're not waiting around for someone give you the
You can
okay with your
manage yourself.
yeah. So I was like, right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it myself. Gonna get a little budget together. We'll see how it goes. And it went really well. So like the first single I released was in 2020. And we got a premiere with Clash for the music video. And that was great. Like and like for the video as well, we just did that independently, did that ourselves. Like I got there was a guy that had like a real cool vintage car, and just got him from like a Facebook car group.
Yeah.
Said, could we use your car for a music video? Would you just drive it round for us, and I can just sit in the back seat or whatever? And he was like, yeah, that'd be great. So we just spent the day with him and gave him like some beers, and he was happy. So there's ways of working things out with people. Like most of the time, people are decent, and if you're just kind of transparent and say, look, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
But will you help us out? I'll try and help you out where I can. And most people are pretty supportive of it, especially like I'm from Stoke, especially around Stoke. People are very much supportive of each other because they can't, it's not a well-off area at all, and people get that, and people genuinely from around here want people to do well and help the area be seen as something more than what it is seen as sometimes, So like, yeah, people have been really supportive, and with each release, I've just kind of been stepping it up each time from like bits that I've learned. And yeah, so I've released one single this summer already, and really chuffed with that one. That got like our first Radio 1 play, so I think I cried a bit. I think I had like happy tears because that was like a big goal for me for like just like life in general. I was just buzzing, and then kind of building off the back of that momentum we've picked up from it, we're going to do a second single that's going to be out this month on the 15th. So that'll be exciting as well. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully people like it. They seem to at the gigs. It's getting good like interaction. We do like a call and response things. That's fun.
Yeah, because your last song, Feel For Me, was a fantastic track, and so kind of building off the back of that almost. And this next single I seen on your Instagram, was it recorded at Abbey Road Studios, if I'm right?
Yeah.
Recording there.
Yeah, that was wild. That was. It came about like really quite last minute. And to be honest, like I didn't actually believe that it was happening until I was actually there. Like we were driving down to London, and we had to leave like super early in the morning to get there because we literally just had one day to get it all done. So we were like, right, we need to leave super early, get there early, so then we have as much time as we can to get sorted. And I don't know, I had like butterflies in my stomach of thinking, oh my gosh, like, have I been had? Is this a big wind up? But when I was driving down, you've got Abbey Road Studios, it's like a big black gate at the front, and that was shut. And I was thinking, okay, so I just got out, I just opened the gate. There was all these like security guards looking at me like, who's this? What are they doing coming just opening the gate and driving in? But luckily, it all went to plan. It was all okay, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're actually your book's in, you're on a list." And I was like, "Thank God." So yeah, it was a bit crazy. We just got invited to play there. The producer, he basically was just about to start working out of there, and he said like, I've kind of followed your stuff for a long time, and like I really like your writing and your songs, and I want a band that has kind of got some credibility already, as a band, and it'd be helping me out because like I've got to learn how to use all of their equipment and like how all their systems work over there.
You use all of their
All
equipment.
of their stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, he was like, I've got to learn like, how their recording desk works, and just get himself familiar with working out of there. And he was like, so I need like a bit of a guinea pig band, if you will. Would you do it? Like, I know it's last minute, but would you be able to do it? Because that was literally like the month of us doing it. He asked us to do it, so I was like, yes, for sure. But just have to figure out how we do it. And yeah, but we worked it out. So, like, we had a gig in Stoke, and then I just got the band stay at mine, and then super early in the morning we left, drove to London, recorded there, drove back, and we got here like very late. But yeah, it was amazing. And for the music video for that single, now we've got a little bit of clips and some pictures and things from Abbey Road. And it was just really surreal. And Paul Gallagher came to do some video and some pictures for us. So he's took like the artwork of the single that was taken by him, and then we've got a few clips in the music video that was taken by him as well. And yeah, he was just cool. But he's based down in London, so he was like, yeah, I'll come and do some photography and that for you. So that was really cool. Just sat having a tea and a coffee in the studio, sat with Paul, having a laugh. Because he's hilarious. He's funny. So that was also quite surreal. Because I didn't really tell my band. I just said, oh, we've got like photographer's gonna come. I said, oh yeah, it's Paul, by the way. And then they just walked in, they saw him, and they're like, oh, okay.
It just sounds like you had a really cool day all around. I can't wait to hear the single. And can you give the name of it and when it's out?
Yeah, sweet. It's called Minds A Riot, and it's gonna be out on September 15th. And like, it's for me, like, the single's about like kind of like when you've got so much going on in your head, that it's almost like a bit overwhelming. Like, it could be like that you're feeling overwhelmed, or just that like you can't kind of quiet your mind because you've got so much like going on, so many thoughts kind of whirling round. And how kind of that's difficult sometimes for other people to understand. Like, like if someone said, oh, I'm feeling this way, you might not be able to fully relate to what they're feeling to kind of the extent that they are, because if you've not experienced that yourself, it can be difficult to try and know the right thing to say, or be like able to fully relate, because like how can anyone say, oh yeah, I understand, when you're not actually that person and you don't know the full extent of how they're fully feeling themselves. So like, it's kind of about that, it's about like mental health really as a whole.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward. I understand that as well, because it's a big topic these days. A lot of people talk about understanding, so I think it's probably a nice message to put in a song. And yeah, I can't wait to hear it. So I look forward to that. And that brings me on, because obviously you've got a few gigs upcoming. You're coming down this way to play the Gathering Sounds Festival in Stockton, which I'll be at. So I'll definitely be down to see you. But do you want to speak about what else is coming show-wise for the rest of the year?
Yeah, yeah. So we're at the moment we're waiting to announce a few shows. So you'll have to kind of keep an eye out on our social media and stuff on like our Twitter, and Instagram. It's just like Lissy Taylor. What is it? Twitter's Lissy Taylor 17 and Instagram's like Lissy Taylor UK. And we're just going to be announcing because at the moment we've got a few things in like kind of lined up, which is really exciting, but we can't quite announce yet. So yeah, the next big one will be the Gathering Sounds on the 30th of September. So that'll be really exciting.
Exciting stuff, and I'll definitely be there. But listen, that brings our chat to a close today now. So I'd like to thank you so much for coming on and chatting today, sharing your journey. I think it's fantastic what you've achieved independently, and I really enjoyed chatting to you.
Cheers, thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it. It's good to have a chat, and if it